Chuck Schumer, who ripped James Comey apart, wanted him fired. The whole, string the guy up. He gets fired, and he goes after Trump, saying, I can't believe you fired this guy. We need independent counsel. Oh, my God. Constitutional crisis. Hey, Chuck, if you read the freaking Constitution, the president can do this. The guy needed to be fired a long time ago. I don't care about the timing. He needed to be gone. He's gone. Get over it. But the reason I bring it up is because it does throw a little bit more sand in the gears of Republicans and Democrats working together on what we care about here, Top Gun Options, tax reform, and all that type of stuff. But we'll get to that in a second. Stocks are, again, wallowing around here. I predicted this. I said, hey, we're going to see retail sales. We're going to see the strength of this consumer. We're more or less in the fourth quarter of first quarter earnings, if you get what I mean. Earnings season is almost over with. Disney was a little bit of a beat, a little bit of a swing, but a miss, and that's a little bit lower. So that's pulling the Dow down. But the market really did have a muted reaction to Comey getting clipped. So there is no Saturday Night Massacre, to use the Nixonian meme. So the markets really don't care about this in as much as it potentially derails his economic reform schedule. That's what the market cares about. But we're wallowing around here, which is great. Earnings largely have been good. Like I said, we're nearing the end of the first quarter earnings season, but we're starting to see some eyebrows raised. We've had a very good reporting season, but we really need the tax cuts for equity markets to push higher. I say that I think they watch my daily SITREPs and steal my quotes. That's why I said, folks, here's the hope rally. Now we're waiting for the change. We need to see the change. We need to see all these words into action before equities are going to take another leg higher. The VIX is down at 1993 levels, literally at levels when I was in flight school in Kingsville, Texas. That's a long time ago. And that is essentially saying there's no bad out here at all that could happen, and we know that is just absolutely not even close. So Europe is starting to look a little bit attractive. We talked about that yesterday, how we're at 7-year lows for inflows, cash inflows into U.S. equities. People are actually leaving and heading overseas, heading over to Europe, heading over to emerging markets. We have trades on Brazil, Russia, China, because I know that's what's going on as well. Before we read in the journal, the election in South Korea of Moon Jae-in, I don't know how to read yet. He is a little bit pro-engagement with North Korea and a little bit pro-China. So he's not a big Trump fan. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on that front, because Trump more or less has said, hey, I really don't even care who the president of South Korea is. This guy's not getting nukes, and, I'll fly missiles over your head. So might see a little bit of fireworks there. But like I said, the markets only care about the Comey thing in as much as what's in it for me. How does this impact his economic reform schedule? And now we're starting to see a little bit of the wrinkles around the eyes here. The Trump administration finally admits that 3% GDP growth, huge GDP coming. It's not going to happen. I mean, Ben Bernanke last week, or I think it was the week before, sat on Comedy Central on CNBC and said, hey, 3% growth ain't in the cards for a while here. So Trump beating the drum on the campaign trail. I'm going to get us 3% GDP. The 0.7 GDP a couple Fridays ago was laughable. Not laughable in a good way, but in a bad way. So we really need to get on the horse here and start galloping. And the questions in the tax plan, remember when Mnuchin and Khan gave their little 19-minute press conference, took 2 questions and left? The latest proposal is mum on the fate of the personal exemption, leaving experts puzzled. So the middle class, I'm no class warfare guy, folks, and I might be in the evil 1%, but what's in it for the middle class? This is we need to see more details on this stuff. Oil prices up, catching a little bit of a bid to above 45, which is a good thing, as we got the crude oil inventory reports today, or this morning. I think it was at 10:30. U.S. crude supplies decline. Yay. But, I mean, boo. OPEC nations, Libya, I don't even think they have a government. Chad, Yemen, all these countries, they're still pumping like crazy. They're not living up to any of their OPEC agreements. So oil is still on our radar as potential volatility. So, like I said, Disney was a beat, but this ESPN albatross, man, Iger, get rid of it. Iger's a liberal, man. This guy, he wants to run for president in, 2020, or maybe in a couple years if he wants to take on Trump. A lot of CEOs nowadays are doing the whole, holy crap, if Trump can do it, I can do it. I've said that. I said that about Obama. If the community, I had more foreign policy experience after 15 years in the Navy, more corporate experience than a community organizer and a one-term senator from Illinois. But I digress. Iger, man, one of the reasons ESPN is weighing on your results is it's a liberal piece of crap. You giving them guidance to talk more about politics, less about sports, and more about liberal politics is disgusting. You're an idiot. But the parks. The media networks, obviously, ESPN's, they got a ditch. The parks and resorts and studios, all the movies they have coming out, Beauty and the Beast, the Star Wars franchise, all that stuff's going to be hitting on all cylinders. I would use this pullback. We have 2 Disney positions in our Urgent Alert model portfolio. I would use this pullback to get long Disney. I'm going to talk about that in our Urgent Alert this week. What else is shaking? We talked all week. I'm beating this drum, guys. We are below our resting heart rate with the VIX, and something's got to give here, man. Let me put this over here with the GDP as well. Just 1 week later, the Atlanta Fed's Q2 GDP forecast crumbles from a 4.3 3.6. So the macro data really are starting to get weak. As I said at the beginning of the week on Monday in my weekly options live trade brief, or actually in the timing research thing that I hosted yesterday, I said we're going to wallow around. I like doing an iron condor this week, a weekly iron condor. The SPX iron condor, the 2385, 2410. Iron Condor, it's up about $200, but we're risking $5,500 to potentially make $2,000, and we're starting to slowly. This football, the blue line there, is going right through the uprights right now. I think we're going to wallow around the rest of the week. I don't see a rip your face off rally. I don't see a massive implosion, especially if we didn't. This Saturday night massacre, and oh my God, he fired Comey. Cats and dogs living together. None of that's happening. The only thing that's got me a little worried, like I said, since the consumer stocks are weak this week, retail sales on Friday. Remember, the market doesn't like being long into the weekend anyway, because tweets can happen, wars can happen over the weekend when markets are closed. So the markets like to be skinny on a Friday. But retail sales, if they're not average, we might see a little bit of a sell-off on the Friday into the close. But again, the Iron Condor is looking great. And I also have an SPX bear call spread in the Urgent Alert model portfolio that's up $525. I placed that last week. It's the 2410, 2415 bear call spread, risking 5 to potentially make $2,500 again with a 63% probability. I love being the house, folks. I love being, at the casino, right, or the car dealer. Car dealers and casinos don't look the way they do because they give money away. What do we get? Let me pull up my iron condor here. What do we get? Even as you're watching this video, or as I recorded this video, when you sell something, you get time decay, you get theta. So even as I'm talking here, look down here at theta. We make money on time decay, and I have a saying, unched on the day equals time decay. If the SPX is kind of unchanged or wallows around plus or minus a little bit, we make money that day. Unched on the day equals time decay. Remember that. Okay, so unchanged on the day equals time decay, and you will live a long and happy trading life. What else is going on? Make sure if you're a member, or even if you're not a member and just live in South Florida and you want to come to our first Top Gun Options live event, it's literally this time, 1 month heads up. June 10th down at the Marriott Marquis in beautiful Brickell. You can click on this page, go.topgunoptions.com/Miami-event, and you can grab your slot, hang out with your fellow TGO members, Blue Angel buddy of mine, John Thomas, who I'm going to be on a webinar with in about 19 minutes, so I got to get going. It'll be a good time, so grab your tickets there, okay? I got to run. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Have a great rest of your day. God bless, and I'll talk to you tomorrow with Thursday's Market Sit Rep from Boston. Heading up to Boston with my son to go do some a hockey tournament, and then also look at colleges, man, and that's bringing a tear to my eye. So I'll let you guys go, and I'll talk to many of you at 1 o'clock today for our accelerated retirement brief. We'll see you.